I wonder how you would feel if on July 4th, 2026, you lost $5,000 like that. Then 2 days later, you realized that you might also lose another $25,000 through essentially the same scam. that's, that's what happened to me. I recorded some videos, and this morning, it's 4:17 in the morning. I want to give you an overview of the whole process here. And then each video that follows this talks about my day to day thinking as I approach possibly losing that $25,000 after I had already lost the 5,000. And I talk about a bunch of other things related to loss in general. This is just one loss, and really it's just money. It's a lot of money, but I've lost a lot of other things in my life. I've lost family members. I've lost marriages. I've lost friendships. And loss is a really difficult thing, I think, for most of us to get through. And oftentimes for myself, I tend to laugh at myself for the silly mistakes I make and hopefully learn along the way. So let me grab my coffee here. I'm going to take a seat and explain to you real briefly the overview of my foray this summer into crypto. Let me get some coffee. So I like to add a little bit of water to my coffee. I guess it's like an Americano. this this crypto deal really had to do with what's called an airdrop. And what is an airdrop? An airdrop is effectively getting free crypto tokens. And I've done this many times in the past. There's various ways you can do this. A lot of times it has to do with interacting with a particular financial protocol. Okay. For example, back in, I think it was 2021, there was this crypto exchange where you could buy crypto, you could swap crypto, and it was called 1inch. I think it's probably still around. And 1inch, I interacted with 1inch a singular time, one time. And just because my particular crypto wallet address, my public address, was associated with 1inch, for that one interaction, eventually they had an airdrop. I received that airdrop, and that airdrop was worth something over $4,000, right? So this can be very lucrative. A lot of people try to game this system in some way or another. Now, the way you get an airdrop just depends upon the particulars of that airdrop. So fast forward to July. There's a particular meme coin that I'm interested in. I don't want to give you the name. I don't want to come across like I'm shilling some meme coins. I would, in fact, never tell my friends to buy meme coins. They're probably the riskiest part of crypto, and it's not really the fundamental piece of crypto, but it's fun and it has to do with social contagion and trying to figure out where the mind share is going. Anyway, this particular meme coin is associated with another financial protocol, a trading platform, kind of similar to an exchange. This trading platform, what you had to do is you had to connect your wallet to the trading platform, effectively have in that wallet this particular meme coin. Then you also needed to connect your social media to this, like my X handle, my Twitter or X handle. The idea at the time was go and post on X about this meme coin, try to generate interest. And as you do that, you will get rewarded with an airdrop. That's the basics behind this. Now, when I connected my wallet to the user interface of this, there's my cat Jax. He's crying in this morning. So he's a loud boy. He's a Siamese. He's a loud boy. You might hear him. So when I connected my wallet to this trading platform, there was a bit of a problem with the user interface where it was not showing that I was holding the token in my wallet where in fact I was. And I noticed there was a lot of other people online talking about this very same issue. Effectively, then I came across some script, some computer code that I thought was going to fix this issue of the user interface. I had run this computer script in my Mac OS terminal Little did I know that this script was, in fact, a Trojan horse, if you will, to access my computer. And that's exactly what had happened. It accessed my computer when I was using my this particular crypto wallet, a MetaMask hot wallet, just a wallet that I don't keep a lot of tokens in. I kind of trade a little more regularly with it, although I'm not someone that normally day trades. The shortest intervals for me are typically on the order of weeks. That's still pretty short. Usually I like to hold on for years. So I had downloaded, I was running this script on terminal, and little did I know that I was basically giving away my seed phrase for this particular hot wallet. So, this was early one morning on July 4th. I had left, I came back later and found that that wallet was completely empty of everything. Okay, my heart drops, it was something like $5,100 or something worth of tokens. That stings. Then it wasn't but a couple days later I realized that this particular wallet, the private key that was associated with this wallet, also was connected to some tokens that were held in a staking contract. Now, what I mean by a staking contract is I had some other crypto tokens that were on a different platform, and the only way I could access them was through this particular wallet that had already been hacked. I had these other tokens on this platform because I was earning interest on these tokens. And it's passive income effectively. So I was earning interest on this. And this particular protocol or platform, if you want to remove those tokens from the platform, you have to initiate what's called an unbonding transaction. Now, this platform, when you initiated this unbonding, it takes 28 days for them to actually release your tokens. Now, there's reasons behind that. I don't want to go into that right now, but effectively, I realized at that point, some 2 days later, that my tokens were about to be released 28 days after the unbonding because the hacker knew this. They saw my wallet and saw that they could get these additional tokens, which was worth more, some $25,000, plus whatever interest I had accrued, which I didn't really know at the moment. I hadn't paid attention. So they initiated that unbonding. So at that point, I knew that there was a race, that when this unbonding occurred, which happened to be August 1st, there was a chance that I could actually get these tokens back. So the tokens were going to be released, and they either would go to the hacker or possibly I could get them back if I use some tricks of the blockchain and some external help to get those tokens. So I decided to go ahead and record videos every day, every few days, thinking about this process of losing these tokens, and also going through a lot of other issues bubbling around in my mind this summer. So that is a background to the videos that are unfolding.
July 12th, you guys, and we are now 19 days, 14 hours, and some 55 minutes away from learning what are going to happen, what is going to happen with my Chainlink tokens soon to be released from a staking contract, but not by myself, by a hacker who got me on July 4th, and I'm going to try to fight to get those tokens before this hacker does. It's about $25,000, as I mentioned. Again, it's more about the tokens. It's about 3,100 tokens and whatever value in terms of US dollars that may be. That varies by the day. The max USD amount that Chainlink reached, this was back in 2021. It was right around $52. So you could do the math there. 52 times 3,100. That's what the value was then. It's much lower right now. But we'll see where it goes. And I want to talk a little bit more about another loss, in essence, related to this whole business. So July 4th, I lost $5,000, a little more than that, and some change in a bunch of tokens, for sure, gone. And then I may be losing these 3,100 tokens on August 1st. And then one more piece of the puzzle here is that these tokens are stuck in a staking contract. And let me pull up the Chainlink staking website here so you can check it out. So you can see this, that as of right now, Chainlink staking allows for, what is it, 40, let's call it 41 million total tokens staked. And this is the particular version we have right now. And how I got into this particular staking pool was that I had owned Chainlink for a long time, and they opened this up to OGs originally. If you could show that your particular wallet was holding Chainlink tokens for some amount of time, they allowed you early access to stake your tokens. And so I was privy to that. I had some ability to do that. And so I did that, and everyone else that could get in pretty much did as well. Everybody wanted in on this because what happens is you basically earn interest, in essence, in the, what is it, 4.32% interest. And there's lots of arguments about people saying, well, if the token value has gone down since that time, why are you really doing this? Well, the bullish case is that we expect the token to go back up a lot. And through this volatile period of the bear market since 2021, the returns over a long amount of time to still outpace any other investment that we might want to put our capital in. Right? If you think about maybe your 401k, if you have a 401k, you're putting money into that, and you're not going to touch that for a long amount of time. So obviously 401k, when you put money in that, it's a diversified field of assets. So your risk is much lower than crypto, but your return, what is that? It depends on exactly what your 401k looks like. A lot of 401k that maybe is dependent upon when you're going to cash out. You're going to cash out in like the year 2060, and then there's a certain risk associated with that determines what kind of things you're invested in there. It's like government bonds versus stocks, things of that nature. And it probably very time they look at those percentages and change that over time. Anyway, getting back to my third loss here is that pulling the tokens out of this staking contract means I lose my place there. And as soon as those tokens are pulled out, I guarantee you someone else is going to take that position. And most likely there's a particular protocol related to Chainlink, and they have a bot that snipes these positions pretty quickly. So I won't be able to put those tokens back in again. My hope is, and the hope of a lot of people, is that as the staking contract, as the staking pool changes versions over time, we're at version 0.2. It seems like we've been stuck here forever, you guys. That possibly they will expand the staking pool. And when that expansion occurs, the hope is that I'll be able to go ahead and stick more tokens in at that point. And a lot of us are looking at this as passive income in the future. So that is that's the hope, but it's also another loss that I am incurring. For sure, I'll definitely lose that for sure on August 1st. Will I get my tokens back? It's going to come down to bot v bot on August 1st. That's essentially it. And I still haven't come to a decision as to who I'm going to place my trust in, because to get these tokens from the hacker, if that's a possibility, I simply don't have the technical acumen to do it myself. And so I'm either going to rely upon a trusted friend, 100% trust, but he isn't really in the technical game, hasn't been in it for a minute. Or do I use Flashbot's White Hat service? And I don't know these guys at all, but there's definitely a lot of articles out there about them rescuing people in situations like this. I will have to give them my private keys. They will have complete access to this wallet, just like the hacker. And they'll take a fee from me, like a 10% fee Plus, I'll have to populate whatever wallet they're going to use with some Ethereum gas. Um, so hopefully they can front run the hacker and get my tokens before the hacker does. So I've I've honestly been ruminating a little bit more about this over the past 24 hours. I don't know why. Maybe because it had been yesterday. It was the week um a week since the situation had occurred, and so it maybe was back on my mind. And I didn't make a video yesterday to put out to you guys, so I skipped a day. I was so busy, and I just didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. So here we are. We're waiting, and let's go back to the countdown. Here it is. I'm also seeing a lot on my X feed, a lot of other people getting hacked and scammed, and people losing a lot more than me. So this is the game we play. We're in a space that's like the Wild West. There's no regulation. We're waiting for some clarity on that with the Clarity Act. We'll see what happens, but overall, I again just have to reflect upon the fact of the matter is I have pulled out more than I've put in by an order of magnitude at this point. So no matter what happens, I've done really well already. So I got to be super happy. Again, don't cry for me, Argentina, and all that. So we'll see if we can keep going with this and keep playing this crypto game. So I hope you guys don't get scammed out there. Be really careful with your private keys. My friend that I was talking to that might help me out here, he even brought it up to me as the notion of what people should be holding their own private keys. And this is where places like Coinbase come into play. You can go to Coinbase, you can connect your bank to it, and effectively Coinbase is going to hold everything for you, and it leaves you less vulnerable, I would say, to these attacks. But it brings what I had thought about way back when years ago is to diversify my risk in terms of where I hold those assets because Coinbase is a centralized exchange. And for crypto natives, we always talk about, well, the centralized exchange is another security risk. They could go insolvent or something and just take your funds. And so I have a trust assumption in Coinbase itself. And so at this point, I think Coinbase is pretty well known. It's pretty legit. It's pretty well regulated. So I don't know what kind of insurance they have backing them. And the other issue is if you want to play around in DeFi and maybe buy some tokens, some really random tokens, or you want to play around in some of these cutting edge financial protocols, you really can't do that through Coinbase. You have to have really your own kind of decentralized wallet, something like MetaMask or Rabby or and Phantom. There's a whole bunch of different options out there, and that'll allow you to interact with these other financial products that are super risky often. But it's fun to play around with some risks sometimes, and you feel alive. Feel real alive. I do. I feel real alive. This summer, I think I've felt more alive than I have in a decade with everything going on in my life. So I've just got to smile, roll with the punches, and hopefully tomorrow is a brighter day. I'll see you guys next time.